Everybody, welcome back to Leosophy. I got three more questions. I'll jump right in. Question number one: how safe is mushroom hunting? Um, Mushroom hunting is very safe if you are 100% sure what you've identified is correct, and there are a number of ways of going about doing that. I highly recommend, if you're interested in actual mushroom hunting, either go after things that are pretty much unmistakable. Like, it's very easy to tell the difference between common morels, which are edible, and false morels, which are potentially toxic. And it's very easy to tell maitake or hen of the woods from pretty much anything else. So those two are relatively safe. But if you want to understand the differences between more complex mushrooms like the boletes and their toxic lookalikes, I highly recommend you do several things. One, get a field guide and study it extensively. And two, find someone who actually does know what they're doing and have them sort of mentor you on that, because it is safe if you know all the things to look for, but it's very dangerous if you're just winging it. It's one of those things that you really, there's no half measures when it comes to mycology. Let's see, hang on just a sec. Let me draw the second one up. Okay, what foods do you recommend cooking during this time? My cooking hasn't really changed much. I'm just doing more of it. Instead of cooking like 4 or 5 days a week, I'm cooking 6. But like pretty much every week, this is borderline OCD. I tend to make miso soup, which is great for quarantine because it's healthy and all you need are like pantry goods and miso, which keeps forever. And so what I usually do is I take some miso, I dissolve it in water, I add a little bit of sesame oil. Sometimes I'll add spices like powdered ginger, chili powder, spicy curry powder even. Did I mention sesame oil? I think I did. Just rice vinegar, anything that, whatever strikes my fancy. Sometimes a teaspoon of honey, well, half a teaspoon is more likely. And to that I'll add also dry goods again, noodles, udon. I really like somen, ramen, and then I'll usually add either chicken breast or fish, often salmon or whiting. I used to add swai, but it's hard to come by anymore for some reason. And yeah, once a week I'll usually make miso soup, and I'll usually make some other kind of pasta dish, often like chicken with homemade marinara, which I take a can of tomato paste. This is another good quarantine food. I'll take bucatini or angel hair or spaghetti, and I'll cook that. I'll make homemade marinara using a can of tomato paste and about half a stick of butter. Sounds like a lot, but I mean it's really not that big a deal, especially considering how much it makes. And to that I'll usually add chicken breast. Pretty much anytime I cook, I will add some sort of meat, whether it's frozen, fresh, or even in some cases canned. Sardines and canned oysters are another great quarantine food. Homemade burgers, homemade steak, oats, big one. Oatmeal is great. A lot of dried fruits. That's how I'm sort of like avoiding going to the grocery. Instead of eating a lot of fresher fruits, I'm eating like frozen vegetables. The steamable bags are convenient, but you can get any kind of frozen vegetable. And what else was I gonna mention? Pickled foods, canned meats, again sardines and oysters. That's what I was gonna say is dried fruits. I've been dried banana chips, desiccated coconut, dried pineapple, dried mango, dried papaya, prunes, figs, dates. And of course, almonds are a great nutritional supplement right now. It lasts a long time. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. A lot of pantry and frozen-based cooking. Let's see. Let me draw up the last question. Has the quarantine affected the podcast? Not really. 13th floor is still, I mean, the way we do things anyway, it's not really affected because we don't go in a studio anyway. We use Zencastr. So I record from here, and Alex and CC record from their home, and it really isn't dramatically affected. And there are still studios open in different places, like in my town, there's a Bourbon Barrel studio. So it's not it's not been tremendously affected. That hasn't. And I hope everybody listening, I hope that your industry hasn't been tremendously affected, and if it has, that this may provide an opportunity for innovation and for you to pivot in a different direction with it. Because again, even obstacles tend to bring out solutions. So don't be too intimidated by what seems like a very insurmountable obstacle, because some things aren't affected, and the things that are, there's often an alternative solution that is just waiting to be discovered. So yeah, that's all I got right now. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya.